Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to my video. And in this occasion, we will talk about morphology in linguistics. This is the one of linguistic part. But before we get into the material, we know the definition of linguistic. Do you know what is linguistic, guys? According to Western Michigan University, linguistics is often called the science of language, which is the study of the human capacity to communicate and organize thought using different tools. The vocal tract for spoken language, hands for sing language, and etc. And also involving different abstract and tactile components. As you know, guys, linguistics has many branches. So it divided into 6 main branches. The first one is phonetic, which is the study of physical properties or speech sounds. Next is phonology. This is the patterns and the system of sounds in specific language, how sounds function. Next is the morphology. This is what we want to explain later. So the next is syntax. This is the rules governing sentence formation and structure. Also semantics, which is meaning of words, phrase, and sentence. And pragmatics, which is how context influence meaning and language use. There are broader linguistic fields. There are sociolinguistic, which is talk about the relation language with society, culture, and social factors. And psycholinguistic, which talk about the mental process of language acquisition, comprehension, and production. Also, discourse analysis, which is talk about language beyond the sentence. And also there are historical linguistic, conversation analysis, literary linguistic, dialectology. So these fields collectively study language sound, structure, meaning, acquisition, and evolution. All linguists engage in research alongside teaching, which means so now we talk about the morphology. Morphology is the study of the internal structure of words and form a core part of linguistic study today. But before get into the morphology, we have to know the meaning of word. Why we must know about word first? Because morphology have the relationship with words. So what is a word? Word is the smallest independent units of language. Word called by independent because there are 3 reasons why words could be an independent unit of language. The first is they do not depend on the other words. Second, words can be separated from other units. And third, they can change position. And now we look for the example. The man looked at the horse. The S at the end of the horses is the plural marker, which is it dependent on the noun horse to receive the meaning. But horse in a word, it can occur in other position or stand on its own. So, word is independent since they can be separated from other words and move around in the sentences. And the smallest unit of language, since they are the only units of language for which this is possible. So, the order of language units from the smallest to a complete sentence. The first one is letter, which is the basic written symbol such as A, B, C, and etc. And the second is the word. One or more letters combine to a form language unit with a single meaning or specific function. Next is phrase, a group of words that function as a single grammatical unit in a sentence, but does not have a complete subject and predicate. And the example is like a red car, in the morning, and etc. Next, there is a clause, a group of words that contains a subject and predicate. So, clause can be a complete sentence or part of larger sentence. So there is two option. There is a independent clause and dependent clause. So for the example of independent clause is he ran. And for the dependent clause is because he was tired. And the highest is sentence, a complete linguistic unit that conveys a complete thought, question, comment, or exclamation. Sentence usually consists of one or more independent clauses and begin with a capital letter and end with an appropriate punctuation mark, period, question mark, or exclamation mark. And the example is the cat sleeping on the sofa. Okay, now we back again to the morphology. In order to understand it, it is important to have a clear understanding about morphemes. Now we will talk about the morpheme. So, morpheme is the smallest meaningful unit of a word. So, words have internal structure built of even smaller pieces. So, there are two words. The first is simple words, which is these don't have internal structure or they only consist of one morpheme. The example is like work, build, run. And they can be split into smaller parts which carry meaning or function. And the second is complex word. They have internal structure, which is consists of two or more morphemes. For the example is worker. In the word of worker, there are affix in the word. It is added to the root work to form a noun. So morphemes are the smallest meaning-bearing units of language. And for morphemes, there are two types. First is bound, and the second is free morpheme. Free morpheme is a simple word consisting of one morpheme. So example is house, work, height, chair, rug, and etc. So maybe it's like a noun or verb, which is the word is stand by themselves. And next there are bound morpheme. These morphemes that must be attached to another morpheme to receive the meaning. Bound morphemes can stand on their own and do not have content meaning. but do, however, hold a functional meaning. And in the bound morphemes, we found some affixes. Affixes are the example of bound morphemes, also include the suffixes and prefixes. Suffixes is like noun suffixes, verb suffixes, adjective suffixes, and adverb suffixes. And here is the example, the kind of affixes. The first is there is li. This is an adverb suffix meaning. So it could be to be characterized by like quickly or quickly. And the next is ness. This is a noun suffix, which is the meaning a state of being, like in the word sadness or coolness. So next there are fi. This is a verb suffix. The meaning is to make, like in horrify or glorify. And sometimes in a verb suffix, li changes the stem word into an adverb, while li doesn't have content meaning on its own, so it does have a functional meaning. So in this case, its functional meaning lies in how it changes a word into an adverb. For instance, from the stem verb word quick to the adverb quickly. Now we move to the next chapter. In morphemes, there are lexical and functional morphemes. Lexical morpheme is a free morpheme that convey the main content or meaning of a message. And the example is they are from noun like house, girl, and the verbs look, play, and adjective set, yellow, and adverb quickly. So the functional morphemes is a free morpheme that show grammatical relationships between words and adding structure rather than core meaning. So the example is there are article like or the, and preposition, in, near, of, in conjunction, and but, or also pronouns he, it, them. Morpheme also divided into two types. The first is derivational morpheme, and the second is inflectional morpheme. Derivational morpheme is a create new words or change a word's part of speech, like example teach to teacher, work to worker, while inflectional morphemes modify word for grammatical purpose like tense or number. So example like walk to walk or boy to boys, and never change the word core class. So the example is verb to noun like read to reader, act to action. This is verb to noun. And they are adjective to adverb like quick to quickly. So inflectional morphemes, the function is to indicate grammatical information like tense, number, position, comparison without changing the word class. So the example is the S for plural noun, cat to cats, it past tense verb like walk to walk, ing present participle, run to running, and etc. Remember, in morphology there are morphs and allomorphs. Morphs is the smallest particle from in a language that has a grammatical or lexical function, while a morpheme is the abstract unit of meaning behind it. And allomorph is a variation in the sound or spelling of the same morpheme, like as, z, is for the plural morpheme, which is occurs due to specific phonological or grammatical environment, but does not change its meaning. Okay, now we move into next chapter. Why morphology is crucial for ELT teachers. Okay, the first is helps build active vocabulary. And the first, morphology allows us to teach word families. Teacher can show how the hundred of new words can be predicted simply by knowing the basic morphemes. This is also empowers the student. The next point is identifying and correcting grammatical error. Morphology help us become an error detective. So, like the example is there a student writes, "I need your advice" using V letter. The teacher who understands the morphology will know that what is needed is a noun, namely advice, using C, not V. So the next is mastering part of speech. Morphology is the key to parts of speech. Teachers can systematically teach the rules. If you see Li, it is almost always an adverb. If there is Tian, it is a noun. So this makes grammar easier to guess. Okay, I think enough for our material today, and thank you for watching and listening. See you again. And the last, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.